Okay, so let me just bring up homework 8. I think we had a few questions in homework 8. What's that? I thought I had it just now. Homework 8. That's November homework 8. Okay. I think we had like 3 questions or so to discuss in that, right? We discussed till question 5. We discussed the hexadecimal problem as well. Question 6. Are you guys comfortable with question 6 with the hexadecimal wala? The one, okay, let me just paste it here. Are you able to see my screen share, guys? Are you seeing my screen share?
Yes.
Okay, Shivank, you as well, right? We discussed this briefly. Do you recall how to do this one?
So actually, I haven't seen the recording of
You
the
haven't seen the
previous
recording. Okay, all right. Shivank, were you able to do this one?
So I'm just checking. So I don't think I got the 6 one. In homework, yeah, there were quite a few songs.
Okay, yeah, let me just quickly discuss this, right? So base 16. Okay, so the normal base is base 10. So decimal is base 10. Decimal means it's base 10. Okay, so the base can be any base, right? For example, if you have a base 6 means I'm using the digits only till 6 but not 6. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Base 10 means I'm using digits till 10 but not 10. So there'll be 10 digits including 0 and 9. Similarly, base 6, there'll be including 0 and 5, there'll be 6 digits. So whatever base it is, the number of digits that we have is the same as that base, right? And it'll stop one less than that particular base, right? So any number, so for example, if I have 153, when we say 153, by default, we mean base 10, which is why we don't have to write base 10, right? So just like when we put this symbol, square root of 25, we immediately say it's 5. Because we know if we are talking about the second root of 25, right? The 2 here is a default. By default, we know it's 5. Whereas suppose we have to say cube root of 64, then only we say it's. So anything other than the default, we have to specify. Similarly, 153, we don't every time write base 10 because it's understood. But we can write 153 to any base. So for example, let's try to write what 153 would be in base 6, for example. So what does that mean? What does base 6 mean? It has, just like we have in base 10, we have units place, tens place, hundreds place. Here we have units place, which is 6 power 0, tens place, which is 6 power 1, hundreds place, which is 6 power 2. I mean, it's not hundreds place, it's 36 place. It's place of 6, place of 36, and place of 216, like that. Okay. Now, to reach 153, we don't need a 4, you don't need 6 power 3. 6 power 3 is 216, which is more than 153. One sec, let me just switch on the light here. One sec. Okay, so we only need to go till 6 power 2. 6 power 2 is how much? 36. What is the multiple of 36 that's less than 153? That's just less than 153, 144, right? So we'll use 4 of these. So we'll put 4 in the 6 square wala location. Okay, now what is the balance? So if we subtract 153 minus 144, we have another 9 more to cover. So what is the multiple of 6, which is just less than 9? The first multiple. So we put a 1 here. We subtract 6, the balance is 3. And that's the units place. So 413 becomes the number in base 6. Does it make sense, guys? Okay. So can we quickly convert, just for practice, can you convert a number that I'll give you into base? Okay, so this is base 6. Now, if you're talking about base 16, then you have digits 0, 1, 2, 3, so on till 15. But how do I represent beyond 15? I mean, these are all symbols, right? If you look at it, we have been looking at it from kindergarten. Therefore, we know it's 1, 2, and all that. But if you just give it to a robo, this is just a shape. Just a shape like this. This is another shape. So beyond 9 also another shape called this, another shape to denote 10, another shape to denote 11, and lastly another shape to denote 15. As far as the robo is concerned, these are all different shapes. It will know to associate with a numerical value. That's it. So in base 16, we have all the way from 0 to 15. Kunal is on, and I thought Anahat was also on. Is he, Anahat, are you on? Okay, he was briefly on. I don't know what happened. Okay, Kunal, you're on, right? And is the recording happening?
So sorry, I have a little fever, so I joined a little late.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so this is base 15, right? So base 16 all the way till F. Are you guys clear so far? Shivank and Apur. So Kunal, you just joined late. I don't want to repeat too much, but I'm going to give one. I just give a very brief intro on how to convert numbers from one base to another. So Apurva and Shivank, can you convert the number 1683? Okay, this is base 10. Can you convert it to base 16 or hexadecimal? Okay, can you try?
So I got 693.
693. Okay. All right, let's check. 693.
Yeah,
Okay.
so same on.
Same, right? Okay, then we don't have to discuss. So how many 256 do we need? I know 256 times 4 is 1024, and then probably another two more of them. So that's 1536, just so that for people watching the recording later, right? So 1683 minus 1536, the difference is how much? 147, I guess. Okay, so 147 is 16 times 9 plus 3. Yeah, so we have 256 times 6, 16 times 9, and then 3 units. Perfect. Okay, so now with that understanding, let's look at this problem, right? Hexadecimal numbers are written using 0 to 9, and A through F is for 10 through 15. Hexadecimal is base 16. Now the question says, among the first 1000 positive integers, there are a few of them, n of them, whose hexadecimal contains only numeric digits. Okay, and he says, what is the sum of the digits of n? The reason he says sum of the digits of n is if he actually puts n, then people can guess, which is why in all of these options, if you see in AMC, they say what is the sum of the digits or what is the product of the digits. That way no one can guess, right? That's the idea. But the focus is what is n? Okay, now can you guys do it with this knowledge right now? Can you try it? Yeah, I'll give some time. Although we did discuss this briefly in class, let's see whether we can try this now. Yeah, any idea, guys, how to approach this?
So I don't have the answer, but like the way
That's
I
fine.
think you would do it is that first, like the limit of the 16 square or 256 is 3, right? You can maximum use 3 before you exceed 1000.
Correct.
And then basically you find the largest number, like, so for example, like you basically need to find the limit for where 16 or the like 16 to the power 1 place does not exceed 9, right? Or 144. And then after that you can probably go from there, including the 16 to the power 0 1. So and then just do combinatorics or permutations to say 3 into whatever into whatever.
Excellent. Very good. Yeah. Very well explained as well. Maybe just a little bit add on. I'll just explain to class, right? So basically what he's saying is 256 times 4 is 1024, right? 256. So if you try to express if you try to express 1024, that'll be the number 400 in hexadecimal, correct? Because we need 4 of these 256. Okay. So the number before this is 1024, by the way. So okay, so if I have two columns, this is base 10. This is base 10 and this is base 16. Okay, so 1024 would be this. 1023 would be the number before this, which is 3FF. So whenever you see FFF and all, think of it like 999. F is the largest digit in base 16, right? So FF is like 99. So almost like 9 is still 9. I'm just saying, just an analogy.
So I got 399 as time.
Very good. Yes, excellent. Okay, that's correct. 399 is the Now, what are we saying? So we're saying the first digit can be either 0 or 1 or 2 or 3. Okay, and we cannot exceed, we cannot reach 4. But even within 3, can the second digit go all the way from 0 to 9? And can the last digit go all the way from 0 to 9? That's what we have to check, right? So 1000, we only want to go till 1000, right? So 1000 is only 24 less than 1024. So if we just subtract 400 in base 16 minus 24, right? I'm saying 24 in base 10. Okay, so just so that you get an approximation. So we'll have to go for 1 units place less. So so 3F0 would be 16 less than 400. Do you agree? 3F0 will be 16 less, but we need to go 24 less. So it'll be 3E0 will be 32 less. So somewhere in between these two, we are going to get 1000, correct? Somewhere in between these two, we're going to get 1000. Yeah, but all of these numbers anyway have a digit like E or F. So anyway, they won't get counted, right? So all of our numbers till 1000, so 1000 will be somewhere here. So all of our numbers till 1000, we have the flexibility of picking any one 0, 1, 2, 3 in the first place, 0 to 10, 0 to 9 in the second place, and 0 to 9 in the third place. So we have 400 such numbers, but within that 400, one alone gets excluded. Which one? The number which is 000, because that's 0. He wants to count positive integers. So I'm surprised that he did not give 4 as a choice, as the sum of the digits, because if someone makes a silly mistake of counting 0, then he or she will write answer as 4. So actually answer is 399, as you rightly said, Shivank. Okay, 0 is not included. Apurva, does this make sense? Okay, so Avinash and Kunal, don't worry because I know you just joined the class. So if it's not completely clear, watch from the recording a bit later. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right, that was question 6 from homework 8. Let's move on. Question 7 we discussed. 8 times 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, that we discussed. I remember. Did we discuss question 8? Rectangle with A and the perimeter P. I think we discussed that also. Yeah, I remember discussing this, A plus P. Yes. So again, if you guys missed and did not watch the recording yet, let's do that. Okay. So let's go to question 9. Avinash, were you able to try this question? Question 9.
No, sir. I did 1 to 5, 1 to 6.
Okay, Kunal, what about you?
I tried it, but I didn't get it.
Okay. All right. Have you guys? Okay. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to think through the problem. It's a little difficult one. I'm not expecting you to solve it, but at least go through it and just think about it for 2 minutes.
No, I tried this one and I didn't.
Okay. Good. And did you get an answer, Shivank?
No, I said I didn't get it when I was doing it. I think I got stuck somewhere.
Fine. No problem. I'll give others like 2 minutes or so just to think about it. Just to get into the groove, then we can discuss. Okay. All of you went through the problem. The problem itself makes sense, right? The question makes sense, right? There's no doubt about the question. Okay. So what's happening here? So we have some number of steps. Let's say the number of steps is n. Okay. So n steps. Okay. So the cat is taking some number of jumps. The dog is taking some number of jumps. So the cat is taking, let's say, c number of jumps. Total of c jumps. Okay. And the dog is taking d jumps. Okay. The number of jumps, I mean. Now the cat wala jump, it's a small jump, right? How much is it? 2 steps. And the dog wala jump is 5 steps. Okay. So if the cat took c jumps, then it would have covered 2c. And the dog, if it taken d jumps, it would have taken 5d. Okay. That's very simple. But the cat is taking c jumps, but every jump is 5, 5, 5, 5. The last jump alone, depending on the number of steps, it would be, for example, let's say it's an odd number, like 79. Then it'll go 39 full jumps, 39 into 2. And then the last jump will be just 1, right? It'll just go 1 step. But suppose it's 80, so it effectively took 40 jumps. 39 full jumps and a small jump of 1. But suppose it's 80 steps, it'll just still take 40 jumps only. So it'll be still in 40 jumps. Similarly, for example, let's say it's again 79 for the dog. The dog would have taken 15 full steps, 15 into 5, and then 1 big jump of 4, but not a full jump. But suppose it's 80, then also it will take 15 into 5 plus 5, effectively 16 jumps in both cases, right? So the last jump is where the challenge is. The jump could be a full jump or it could be a smaller jump. The question is clear right now, right? So now here we are saying the cat took all but the last jump is a full jump. So it took 2 into c minus 1. Similarly, the dog took 5 into d minus 1. Only thing, the last one was, we don't know whether it was a small jump or a full jump of 1 or 2. Similarly, here, only thing we don't know, the last jump was a small jump of 1, 2, or a medium jump of 3, or a full jump of 5. This is what we don't know. Are we all clear on the notation so far? Okay, Kunal, you're okay? Okay, right? Now, just erase this. Now, both of these quantities should work out to be the same thing. And we also know that C, dog has taken 19 fewer jumps, obviously because it's jumping big steps, right? So the number C is the bigger number between C and D. C is D plus 19. Okay, so I'll replace instead of D, I'll replace with C plus 19. So I'll just make this C plus 19 minus 1. So it's become C plus 18. So I replaced.
So C is D plus 19.
C is D plus
C is
19.
not C plus 19.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Yeah. So here I should just retain it as D minus 1. And here I should replace this as D plus 18. Thank you. Okay, so this is D plus 18. D plus 19 minus 1, which is D plus 18. Okay, so but the steps are the same for both. So this is also N and this is also N. The number of steps is both same in both cases. Okay, so now how do we solve this type of problem when we don't know what this quantity is, we don't know what this quantity is? So let's say, let's call this as some set, right? Let's call this set set A or something. And let's say this is some number set B. Okay, so we are choosing some number from set A and some number from set B and making this happen. So let's subtract both equations. So we get 0. And then when we subtract here, 2D minus 5D is minus 3D. 36. So 2 times 18 is 36. 5 times minus 1 is minus 1. So plus 41. Okay. And plus some number in set A, I'll just say like this for notation, minus some number in set B is 0. Are you guys all with me so far? All okay? Avinash, you're okay?
Yes, sir. So you can just substitute numbers from it and get
Correct.
D, right?
So yeah, so 3D is 41 plus A minus B. Okay. Now what is A? A is 1, 2, and B is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's see what this quantity A minus B can be. Okay. So the minimum, so A minus B, let's see what is the minimum, and we'll see what the maximum is for this quantity. So A minus B is minimum when A is the smallest and B is the largest. So the minimum is A is the smallest is 1 and B is the largest, which is 5. So which is minus 4. And what is the maximum when A is the largest and B is the minimum? B is the smallest among the two sets. Correct? So that's plus 1. Okay. So in other words, this quantity A minus B for different values of numbers from set A and numbers from set B, it'll go all the way from 41 minus 4 till 41 plus 2, 41 plus 1, which is 42. So 36, 30, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. It can take any of these numbers. Anything in between is definitely possible. We can easily come up with multiple combinations, but these are the maximum limits. Shivank, you're with me so far? Okay, so 3D is this. And the hint is now in 3D. 3D is a multiple of 3. And therefore, if this has to be a multiple of 3, the only possibilities are 39 and 42. 39 and 42 are the only values possible. Right? For what? For 3D. We have still not solved the problem. 39 and 42 are the only possibilities for 3D. Okay, let's deal with each of them separately. How did we arrive at 39? We arrived at 39 when A minus B, this quantity, was minus 2, if you remember, right? That's the minimum, right? A minus B, when it's minus 2, that's when we arrived at 39. Similarly, on this side at 42, we arrived at that when A minus B was maximum. Sorry, not minus 2, but minus 4, I'm sorry. Minus 4. 41 minus 4.
So how?
No, minus 2 only. Minus 2 only. Sorry, minus 2. Minus 2. And A minus B here was plus 1, correct? A minus B was plus 1. Okay, good. Now let's thank you for the quick how. You guys are paying attention. Wonderful. Okay, so how can I reach A minus B as minus 2 among the values in A and B? So one possibility is 1 minus 2. Other possibility is 2 minus 4.
So 1 minus 3.
I have so many silly mistakes I'm making today. Yes, you're right. Thank you. So 1 minus 3 and 2 minus 4. Yeah. So both are possibilities for reaching minus 2. Similarly, on this side, to reach A minus B is 1. There's only one way. 2 minus 1. That's the only one way to reach 1. Okay. Now, each of these cases, let's see what it translates to. So, which means what I'm picking A in set A, I'm picking 1. In set B, I'm picking 3. Okay. So let's see what that means. So what let's translate it here, right? So in D equal to how much? D was in this case D was 13.
1 is 13.
Yeah, in this case D is 13. In the other case D is 14. Correct. Okay. So so in the first one, so let's start doing. So in this case, in this value, I'll substitute D equal to 13. So 2 into 13 plus 18 is 31. Plus I'm picking which one? So let's say I'm dealing with this case. A is 1. A is 1, right? So 63 steps. Okay, let's confirm whether that matches with this also. So in terms of the dog, so it's 5 times, D was 13, 5 times 12, 60, plus this in set B, we picked 3. Is that also adding up to the same thing? Yes, it is the same 63. So we know we are good. Okay, so this corresponds to the number of steps being 63. Okay, similarly, this would be very similar, right? Only the last step will be +2 and +4 instead, right? So it'll be +2 here and +4 here. 2 and 4. And both, sure enough, add up to the same quantity, which is 64 and 64 here. So this corresponds to n equal to 64. Similarly, just let's complete the last one here. So in this one, D is 14. So I'll erase this. D is 14. So this is 2 times 14 plus 18, which is 32, plus what is my set A? Set A I'm picking 2. So 64 plus 2, which is 66. Let's just confirm here if the same thing. 5 times D is 14. 5 times 13 is 65. And then B is 1. That's also 66 matches. So this is n equal to 66. So therefore, we say the number of steps can either be 63 or 64 or 66. And then finally, he wants what is the sum of all the possible number of steps, right? So it's just a matter of finishing it off from here, right? So 63 plus 64 plus 66.
So it's
64
sum
plus
of
66.
digits, no?
Sum of the digits, yeah. So we have to sum all of them and then do the sum of the digits. So 63 plus 64 plus 66. Right? And then do the sum of the digits of this 193. Right? So he says, let S denote the sum of all possible number of steps. So S is 63 plus 64 plus 66. And then he wants what is the sum of the digits of S itself. So S is 193. And the answer he wants is sum of digits of 193, which is 13. Makes sense? Avinash, you're with me?
Yes, sir. So you have to do 63 plus 64 plus 66, and then you have to do sum of all of that.
Sum of the digits of that
Sum
number.
of the
Yeah.
digits of that. Oh.
Yeah. Again, yes, given the question like that so that people cannot guess. There's no way of guessing. If he gives a number like 193, people who are almost on that verge of finishing can take an intelligent guess and finish it off. So unless you actually do the problem fully, you won't get it. Right? Makes sense? Okay,
Yeah.
Shivank, you're okay on this explanation? Apurva? Okay, that was question 9. Okay, question 10. Did you guys try this? Shivank, did you get this answer on this one?
No.
Okay. Do you guys want to give it some thought again? Kunal, did you?
I don't understand what does zeros of the function mean. Like,
Okay. Yeah, good question. An equation has roots, right? Those roots are also called zeros. When you have a quadratic equation or a cubic equation, doesn't matter. Any equation has roots, the specific values for x, which will solve that equation, right? So those are called zeros or roots. Technically, for a function does not have roots or zeros. Roots and zeros are the same thing, right? Roots and zeros are the same thing. Zeros and roots both mean same thing. Okay. Right. So for an equation, there's roots. For a function, there's no roots. But when they say for roots of a function or zeros of a function, they mean if you set that function equal to 0, that becomes an equation. For that equation, what are the roots? Okay. So we are saying x square minus ax plus 2a equal to 0. For that equation, you'll have some roots. Right? What is the sum of all possible values of a if these roots have to be integers? Okay.
So do you have to use that quadratic formula in this, or is there some other way you can get it?
You have to use the quadratic formula. That's the very first step. But uske baad kya hi karoge? That's the main thing.
Oh,
right?
so I think I got no.
Okay, I'll give you guys another minute just to try, like the previous case. Can you try? Yeah. So, all right, let's see. So what are the roots of the quadratic equation? So this is the roots. Okay, I'm just going to change the question to px and 2p because, right, generally we have a quadratic equation. What are the sum of values for p? Okay. So the quadratic equation roots are minus b, which is minus of minus p, plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac, because in the quadratic formula itself there is an a and it's confusing. So I'm just being easier on you, but in case, sorry, in the exam if it comes, you have to know to adapt it, right? And you can make a quick change like this yourself so that you don't make mistakes and then move forward. So b square minus 4ac. So in this case, a minus 8p whole upon 2a, which is 2. Okay. Now this quantity has to be an integer. Okay. So he doesn't say p is an integer. He says this quantity has to be an integer. But this will imply that p also has to be an integer. So we'll ignore that fact for now. So why that is the case, we can prove. But for now, just go with the flow that p is an integer. Otherwise, it won't, because one could argue that p is a fraction. P square minus 8p is a square of some fraction. So when you take a square root, it becomes something like, I don't know, I'm just giving an example here. So for example, p could be, let's say 1/4. Okay. And then p square minus 8p, of course, p square minus 8p won't be that. I'm just saying, making a very fake example. P square minus 8p happens to be 49 by 16.
But it can
something.
never be a fraction, no, p square minus 8p. But if p can never be a fraction, because p square will always be lesser than 8p if p is a fraction. So then it
No.
will be negative.
Yeah, no, but p could be a fraction which is more than 1, right? So p could be 11 by 4, for example, right?
Yeah.
Okay, p could be 11. Okay, let's take this example. We'll say p works out to be 11 by 4. And let's say p square minus 8p or root works out to be 5 by 4, something, right? Then the numerator is 11 by 4 plus 5 by 4 whole by 2, which is 16 by 4 by 2, which is 2. So it's still possible that the effective quantity is an integer, but we can prove that that won't happen, right? We'll leave that as an aside for now. Okay. So let's assume p is an integer for now. Okay. Now, with p as an integer, okay. So one way to do this is, let's complete the square here. P square minus 8p. I'll complete the square by adding 16, right? If I add 16, then it becomes p minus 4 whole square. Obviously, that does not come for free. We'll have to subtract 16 as well. So it's adding and subtracting 16, so that I can write it as p plus or minus square root of p minus 4 whole square minus 16 whole upon 2. Okay. Now, sorry, I'm just thinking of something else here. Okay, fine. Okay, all right. So now, if p is an integer and p minus 4 is a perfect square, so we want square root of another integer, right? This integer, p minus 4 whole square minus 16 must be a perfect square. So let's list out all the perfect squares for now, starting from 0. So we have 0, 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36. Let's do a few more, 49, 64, 81, 100. Okay, that's good enough. The first 10 perfect squares we listed. Okay, now p minus 4 is a perfect square. And after subtracting 16, you have to get another perfect square. Okay, 16 is just a number, but subtracting 16, I must land in another perfect square. So are there pairs of numbers here in this list which are separated by 16? That's the question. So sure enough, I can find 16 and 0 as one combination, right? 25 minus 16 is 9. That's another combination. Okay, let's see whether some combination works with 36. 36 minus 16 is 20. Does not work. 49 minus 16 is 33. Does not work. 64 minus 16 is 48. Does not work. 89 minus 16 is 65, which is even more than 64. So beyond this, we don't even have to search, because if we subtract 16, you'll land up in a number which is bigger than the previous perfect square. So there's no way of us reaching a perfect square, because the distance is going to get wider and wider after this. The 121 will be even further, right? So there's no point trying beyond this. Does it make sense? So we've exhausted all the possibilities by considering the first few, namely p minus 4 whole square can either be 16 or p minus 4 whole square can be 25. Right? Those are the only possibilities, right? P minus 4 whole square is the bigger one. After subtracting 16, you will land up in another perfect square. So if p minus 4 is 16, what does it mean? So p minus 4 is plus or minus 4, which means p is 4 plus or minus 4, which is 8 or 0. That's one block. If p minus 4 whole square is equal to 25, that means p minus 4 is plus or minus 5. That means p is 4 plus or minus 5, which means p is either 9 or minus 1. So the possible values for p are these: 8, 0, 9, and minus 1. Okay. And what is the sum of all possible values of p? It will be 8 plus 0 plus 9 plus minus 1, which is 16. Okay. Now let's just try one of them just to convince ourselves. Let's pick one of them. Let's say 9. Okay. Let's convince ourselves that we are on the right track. If we pick p as 9, then we get this is x square minus 9x plus 18. Okay. Does it have integer roots? Yes, because we can see it's factorized. It's x minus 3 times x minus 6. So we're okay. Let's try one other example. Let's try, I don't know, minus 1. Okay. So it's x square minus 1. So plus x minus 2 equal to 0. So, I mean, that's what we have to solve, right? Equal to 0. So this also factorizes, right? X plus 2 times x minus 1. The roots are minus 2 and 1, which are both integers. Okay, so we are convinced that we are working is fine. Yeah, makes sense? Yeah, okay. Let's go to
So we
the...
should try all of these different options for A.
That, we don't have to, for P or A, whatever you want to call it.
Because we have to find the roots, no?
No, we don't have to find the roots. We only have to find what is the sum of the possible values for P.
Oh, okay.
Right. So our matter is done here itself. 8, 0, 9, minus 1. These are the values for P. So the sum is 16. But I just went a step forward and just obviously you want to verify, right? At least 1 or 2 if there's a mistake in your working. So I verified for 9. I verified for minus 1. But we don't have to if you don't have time in the class, in the exam. I mean, ideally you should verify at least 1. But let's say you're rushing in the last 10 seconds. You won't have time to verify. Yeah, makes sense? Okay, all clear, right? Shivang, Kunal, Apurva? Okay, so that was the last problem in this exercise. Next was homework 9.
So
on
can you
job.
just explain why p minus 4 is a whole square? Is a perfect square, sorry.
Because it's p minus 4 whole square. P minus 4 whole square. So something whole square is a perfect square, right?
No, but just p minus 4. Or is that not a square? P minus 4 is not a square, right?
P minus 4 is not a square. We got p minus 4 whole square minus, that's how we simplified, right?
P minus 4 whole square minus 16 is a perfect square. That's all.
Correct. Only then I can take a root of this.
Yeah.
For it to become a rational number, then only after that it can become an integer, first of all. It has to be, first of all, rational. Only then it can be an integer, right? We want the roots to be integers. Does it make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And now to answer the other part, why should P be an integer at all? Okay. So I gave an example, right? Where mock example where it could be working, right? There's an argument for that. Okay. So what are the two roots? One is P plus root of blah, blah, blah by 60 by 2. I'm not writing the whole thing. The other is P minus root of blah, blah, blah by 2. Okay. If both have to be integers, then the difference is also an integer, correct? The difference is also an integer. Right? In fact, it's a necessary condition. Just because the difference is integer, it does not have to be both are integers. But if both are integers, the difference is definitely an integer. Yes, you're with me? The question says the roots of these are integers. which means these two are individual integers, which means the difference between the two roots is also an integer, difference or sum, whatever it is. In fact, let's go for sum. That's easier. Okay. The sum of these two is also an integer, right? What is the sum of these two? It's just p by 2 and p by 2, which adds up to b, just gives p. So p is an integer. That's how we conclude. Does it make sense? Yeah.
Yes.
Or if you do the difference, you'll end up getting the difference is p minus 4 whole square minus 16 is an integer, right? Which means p minus 4 whole square minus 16 must be a perfect square, right? Only then I can take a root and arrive at an integer. 1 second, someone is pinging me here. Okay, cool. That was question 10. Let's see. Let's go for homework 9, the geometry wala homework. You guys have it, right? Just bring it up. Did you do the first one? Avinash, did you try this?
So I didn't see this homework had come. I was studying for another paper. Sorry, sir.
Okay, who has attempted? Shivank, you said you attempted. Shivank, why is your video off suddenly? Turn on the video, please. Shivank.
Oh, yeah, so
Okay. You attempted this homework, right?
yeah, so I got 56 for this.
56 for the first one. Okay.
Yeah.
Kunal, did you
Yeah, I
attempt?
also got 56.
Okay, Kunal, can you explain how you got 56 on this?
Okay, so the figure is a like ADEF, right?
Yeah.
The ADF is a parallelogram because we know that
Yeah, it's given. What is the perimeter of the parallelogram? These opposite sides are parallel. Yeah.
oh yeah, it's
The-
given also. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So then obviously that now suppose we take AD as X and
Mhm.
then BD will be 28 minus X.
Yeah.
And then since we know that they are similar triangles, so even DE will be 28 minus X. I
That's
mean, we
also-
don't know that, but I
No,
proved it.
we do know that. We do know that. You are right. Because the original triangle is isosceles. So let's say this is some angle. So this is theta and this is also theta. Now this is parallel to this, right? So this
Yeah.
angle will match. The top angle
Yeah,
will
yeah, yeah.
match.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
therefore this bottom angle also should match. Yes,
Yes. Right.
correct. Continue. And therefore, yeah, problem is done now. 28
And
minus
then
x plus
28
x.
minus X plus 28 minus X
Yeah.
plus X plus
Yeah,
Y.
so the x will get cancelled. So it turns out that the 20 and all is confusing and meaningless. We don't even need that 20 if you look at it. The base value is not even needed. Okay. So sometimes they might give a lot of these information and confuse you and give a diagram which is little daunting, right? It's one of the easiest questions you can see. Makes sense. Whoever hasn't tried it, please try it later. You'll see it for yourself. That was question 1. Question 2. Cube wala
So I
question.
got stuck for this one.
On question 2. You got stuck with which one? The video or? Sorry, I didn't understand.
No, second question.
The second question. Okay. What about you, Kunal? How many edges does the remaining solid have? This one did you do?
I actually like I got 36, but I think it's wrong.
36. Okay.
Because I did it again and I got a 48. So
Okay.
the-
It's not a very difficult question. I'll give you all a minute to try this. Take a minute, guys, all of you.
So, but how does the side length matter in this one?
Just to the extent that if you subtract 1 and 1 on both sides, you still have some extra left in the
Oh.
middle. That's all.
Oh.
Instead of 3, it can be 5. But instead of 3, suppose it's 1.7, then it'll matter.
Yeah.
Because you're subtracting 1 from both and they'll collide, the two subtractions.
Yeah.
But yes, good question. Draw a picture, guys. You'll see it for yourself. Any idea? I'll draw a picture in case you guys are struggling with drawing a 3D diagram. Okay, not that I'm doing a better job, but let's see. Okay, let's focus on one corner. In this corner, what's going to happen? You're chalking off this block, right? Chopping off. So some portion like this comes out. Okay, so sorry.
So I got 36.
Got 36. Okay,
So
All right.
same answer.
36. Okay, let's see. Okay, so when we chop off something like this, selectively deleting is getting hard. Okay, all right, this is better. Okay, the figure becomes something like this. Are you able to visualize? You're able to visualize, right? Now,
Yes.
the original figure had how many edges? For a normal cube, how many edges we have? 12 edges, right?
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 edges. Now, let's just 12 in gray so that we're able to associate. So 12 edges was original. Those
So I
12
think I'm getting
edges,
84.
84, yes,
Sorry, I just
correct,
remembered.
yes.
Okay.
So those 12 still remained, nothing changed there. But the additional red edges came now into the picture. Now, at every corner, how many red edges? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 new edges introduced in every corner. And how many corners does a square have? Cube have? 8 corners. So the total becomes 84. These are new. Okay. And these were original ones. Right? Does it make sense, guys?
Yes, sir.
I
Yeah.
made a very, very simple calculation error. So,
Which is what?
so I messed up I didn't
I
count
just did 9 into 4. I made that mistake.
And then your answer should be 48, no? Then in that case.
9 into 4. I didn't add the 12 also.
Oh, okay. All right. Avinash, sorry, Apurva, what is your mistake?
So I didn't count the inner edges and I multiplied the number of corners by 4 by mistake. Like I since I was visualizing it as like a square, I didn't count 8 corners. I counted 4 by mistake.
Okay. Seems like what Avinash also did, right? So which is 9 times 4, which is 36.
No, sir. So actually, the 3 inner edges, so I counted. I counted 6 edges on each corner, and then I multiplied that by 4. And
Okay.
then I added that, so I got it wrong.
I see. Okay, I didn't fully understand, but as long as you understood your own mistake, that's good. Okay, now let me ask an extension to this question because Avinash was curious. What is the length? Yeah, the length does not matter. Now I'll make the length matter. So what I'm going to ask now is, you do the same thing. You're going to remove all this stuff here also, right? At the top here and all that, right? At all the corners, you're removing all of this. The resulting that figure. What is the total surface area of the resulting figure? Find the total surface area of the resulting figure, the remaining solid, that is.
So I got 54.
Okay. Apurva got 54. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Go ahead, Apurva. Please explain.
Yeah, basically what I did is that since it's a 3 by 3 by 3 cube, the surface area of one face without removing any corners is 3 into 3, 9, right?
Mm.
And the moment you remove a corner, each face will lose 4 small squares inside it.
Mm.
So the surface area of like the result, like of each side,
Each face.
e-
Each face.
of each face will be 5, and then that's 5 into 6, 30, plus there are 3 faces at each corner, so 3 into 8 is 24, 54,
The 5 into 6, which is 30, and then plus
30.
what? Plus what?
plus the 3 faces at each corner into
Correct.
8, 24. So
3 into
30
8.
plus 24, 54.
Okay. Very good. But they can arrive at the same answer in a much quicker way. Okay. First of all, is Apurva's method very clear to everyone? Avinash, you're clear on Apurva's method?
So where did the 5 into 6 come from?
The 5 into 6 came from, he's looking at, let's say he's looking at the top face. The top face initially had an area of 3 into 3, which is 9.
Yeah,
Correct?
9.
But it lost this, and this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So
Right, which is 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 4.
Which is
9.
5. And the same happened for each of the 6 faces.
Yeah.
Right?
So
We should
6.
use face, not side. Face. Right? And therefore that's 30. Plus new exposure came through each of these red portions. How much exposure? You
So
got a 1 here, you
that's
got a 1
20.
here, you got a 1 here. There was a 3. And there are 8 of them, 1 in each corner. Therefore 54. But you could avoid all of this. Apurva is not going to shoot this thing. The area that was exposed was already there, except that from the top, it's just come to the bottom. That's it. I can see Apurva smiling. Does it make sense, Apurva? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
What
Is
was
every-
just added was this.
No, that's because you can see it from here. Let me just draw it again and then it'll be clear, right? So it was like this. It was like this initially, right? And now what are you doing? You are putting this section here. Putting this section here, right? Now, let's consider, so this top portion, which was, let's say in blue, that vanished, but it got replaced with this new exposure that came here in the bottom, right? When you exposed it. When this portion got exposed, this got removed. The blue got removed, but the pink got introduced. Does it make sense? Okay. Similarly, looking from this angle, same thing. The blue got removed, but the new pink got exposed. The same thing. All right. So if it's raining from all sides, let's say from bottom, side, top, and all that, it's effectively the same amount of the body is going to get exposed. Does it make sense? Okay. Let's go to the next one. Next question. 2 sides of a triangle. Question 3. Who all tried this last class? I think Kunal and Anahat. Anahat, what's happening? You join, you leave, you join, you leave. Videos off. Kya ho raha hai beta?
Sorry, first time I joined was to check the classes after because I had to finish some studies before I joined.
I cannot hear you also. Your voice is also very low and muffled. You're in? Hello?
Yeah, so the first time I joined, I just joined to check if class was happening because I needed to finish some studies before I joined.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
I just thought, okay, if the class is not happening only, then I'll take my time. If it's happening, then I'll
Okay. I see. Okay. Question 3. Did you do this, Anahat? And video on, please.
Yeah, so I didn't do any of the homework.
You did not do. Okay. Kunal, what about you? Kunal, Avinash, you said you did not try, right? This homework 9. Shivank, you said you tried. What did you get on this one?
So I stopped doing it at this one, like the homework. And I got stuck here somewhere. Like I
Okay.
think I was close to getting.
That's fine. But Shivank, you said you did homework 9. You did
Yeah,
2
no,
problems in homework 9.
Yeah, yes.
Kya
So
yaar?
I meant I
Okay,
started.
okay, you might as well say I did 2 questions
Yeah.
in homework 10.
Yes.
Kisko ullu bana rahe ho? Okay.
Sorry.
ठीक है. Okay. All right. At least Avinash was clear. I did not do, sir. That's fine, right? To be honest, right? Yeah, I'm not going to get impressed. Okay. Anyway, you know what happened, Kunal? You're not well. Your dad is coming and checking on you, is it?
Yeah,
Fever.
I had a little fever.
Okay, thanks for showing up for class despite that. Okay, or do you guys want to take time to do this now? It's also an easy question only. Can
I
I'll,
tried this, but for the third side, I used like Pythagoras theorem only. But then for the other part of the third side, I was getting a very weird
what
question.
Pythagoras theorem? There's no right angle triangle given. Oh, you mean altitudes, right?
Altitude.
Okay, can you all try it now for 2 more minutes? I'll give time now. So I'll give time. Looks like none of you have tried it. In class itself, we'll do. So rather than me just discussing without you guys trying, at least this is better.
So when it says altitude to this third side, it means the altitude ending on the third side, right?
How else can it be interpreted? It's clear, no?
No.
Altitude,
I meant the altitude starting from the angle of the third side.
which
No,
are
it's the
both
same thing.
which
It's
are
the same
the
thing.
same thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I got 6. A.
6. Okay. Anyone else concur with him or? Should we discuss or you guys need 1 more minute? Whoever is half doing it so far. Avinash, you need 1 more minute or you're okay discussing?
So we can discuss.
Okay. All right. So let's draw a quick diagram. A, B, C, something. Okay. So I'll just mark something as, let's say this is 10. Oops, sorry. So let's say this is 10 and this is 15. So let's mark A, B, C. Okay. So the convention is small letters for opposite to the capital letters. So this is small a, this is small c, and this is small b. Okay. Now he says the altitudes, two sides of a triangle, the length of the altitude. Okay. All right. So let's call altitudes some names, right? So let's say this is I'll draw the altitudes here so that it's easy. So this is one altitude, this is another altitude, and this is a third altitude. Okay, so let's give the altitude some names, right? So I'll give in symmetry, right? So A, B, C. So let it be P, Q, R in that order. So I'll give the first one, the one corresponding to this is P. So this is P, I'll say. And then one corresponding to B, I'll call it Q. And this is R. Okay. Now, what does he say? We know B is 15 and C is 10. That's all we know. Okay. Now, altitude comes means automatically area will come. So what is the area of the triangle? Area is either half into A into P, which is same as half into P into Q, which is also same as half of C into R. Okay. All 3 areas are same. So B and C are given. Okay. So first of all, I'll erase the half and erase the area so that I can compare without half, right? So these 3 quantities are same. Okay. So B is given to be 15. So 15 times Q is 10 times R. Okay. 15 times Q is 10 times R. We also know that P is average of Q and R. Okay. So what is the ratio of Q is to R first of all? So Q is to R. So we can just say Q is to R is 2 is to 3. Right? Because 15 into Q is 10 into R. So Q is the smaller one, R is the bigger one. So far, so good, guys. Okay. So in fact, let's give some, so let's say Q equal to some 2m. Okay, I don't want to introduce too many variables, but just so that you don't think it's literally 2. So Q is 2m, R is 3m, let's say. That means my P is given to be the average, right? The third altitude P is the average of the first two, the other two. So this is 2m plus 3m by 2, which is 2.5m. Okay, so let me replace everything in terms of m. So this is 15 into 2m, which matches with 10 into 3m. Now we are asking, okay, sorry, decimal and multiplication will be confusing. Okay, so and this is, I'll just call it 5 by 2 so that it's easy. So 5 by 2m. So the P is 5 by 2m. So what into 5 by 2m? That's what we want. Okay, so this matches 30m, 30m matches. For it to be 30m, maybe what you did one small silly mistake, looks like Apurva. It should be 12, not 50, not 6. Maybe you missed a 2 somewhere. So 12 times 5 by 2 will give the same 30. Yeah, makes sense? But the method is clear, guys. Everyone, Shivank, you're okay? Anahat, you're okay?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Even if you guys cannot take unmute, you can use your electronic thumb and just say thumbs up, right? I know some of you take quite some time to unmute, mute. Just give a thumbs up and electronically. Okay, so that was question 3. Kunal, you're okay, right? Understood, right? Okay, good. Question 3, that was. Question 4.
I actually misread the question before. Like I did not take the altitude, I took the side only.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. I'm not going into how it was misread, but as long as you understood the mistake, that's good enough.
Yes.
Okay. Let me go to the top here and start another page. Okay. This one. Again, can we all take some time to do this? In class only, we'll do all these questions because none of you have tried it, looks like.
So can I use graph paper for this?
You can for now, but in the exam, you have to make do with whatever paper you have, right?
Oh.
Yeah, actually, since you're taking it online, you might as well have one handy with you. Okay, any progress, guys? Okay, let's discuss, right? So again, it's
So
you don't have to.
almost done. So 1
Okay,
minute.
fine. I'll give time. One more minute, Avinash.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, I got 10.
10. Okay. All right. Let's discuss.
But I don't know because I just used some weird method for it.
Fine. No worries. Okay. All I've done is just a simple diagram. Don't kill yourself, but at the same time, just draw a reasonable diagram to scale, right? You don't have to be perfect. Now, all I've done is plotted all these points. I've plotted the reflections of these points around 8. The vertical line, x equal to 8, is the orange line. So 6, 5 gets reflected to 10, 5 on the right side because it's 2 this side and 2 that side. 9, 1 gets reflected to 7, 1 because it's 1 this side. Now it becomes 1 this side. The third point is on the reflection line itself. So that remains at 8, -3. Okay, the diagram is clear to everyone. Shivank, you're okay with the diagram? Now let's understand where does 7, 1 fall, because from the diagram it looks like it's very close to the line. But let's see where it lies. Is it within the orange or outside the orange? Within the pink or outside the pink triangle, whatever, right? So let's see in terms of slope. So let's compare what is the slope of the line joining 6, 5 to 7, 1 and 7, 1 to 8, -3. So 6, 5, when you go from 6, 5 to 7, 1, what is the slope? The y difference by x difference. Either way, you can do y2 minus y1 or y1 minus y2, doesn't matter. So let's say I do 5 minus 1 upon 6 minus 7. Okay, let's do it proper. Y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. That way you are in the habit of doing it. So it's -4 upon +1, which is -4. The slope of that is definitely looking like a steep negative. -4 seems reasonable from the diagram I've drawn. And from 7, 1 to 8, -3, what is the slope? Same. Y difference is -3, -1, which is -4. X difference is 1. So both the slopes are same, which means the 7, 1 is literally on that edge, on that pink line itself, right? And similarly, the 9, 1 should also be by symmetry on that edge when we draw the other triangle. Let's check. 8 -3 to 9, 1. I'm going right by 1 and up by 4. 9, 1 to 10, 5. Also same thing. I'm going right by 1 and up by 4. So these 2 points are literally, when I complete the diagram, you'll see. So this looks like, the other triangle looks like this. When I connect these 3. So this will look like this. Not able to, the precision finding is difficult with this. Something weird here. Okay, fine. I'll just let it be. Okay, and then this will go something like this. Okay, so obviously I'm not able to draw it well, but because of the straight line has some precision. By symmetry, you can see that this meeting point should be on the y-axis itself, just by symmetry. You guys can see it, right? Left and right should meet just on the not y-axis, the reflection line, right? So let's find out the coordinates of that point. How do you find out? You can find the equation of one of these lines. Let's find the equation of the line joining from 7, 1 to 10, 5. Let's find the equation of that line. How do you find the equation of the line? We already found the slope is plus 4 in this case, or we didn't actually, but let's see. The slope is how much? y2 minus 4 by 4 by 3 was the slope. Okay, 4 by 3 was the slope. So y equals 4 by 3 times x plus c. Okay. Now let's look at the point where it crosses the reflection line, right? But x equal to 8. X equal to 8, right? Oh, sorry, that's what we have to find out. First, you have to find c by putting one of these points. 7, 1, let's put. So 1 equals 4 by 3 times 7 plus c. You're right. So how much is this? So c is 1 minus 28 by 3, which is minus 25 by 3, I think. Minus 25 by 3. Now let's substitute that with x equal to 8. So 4 by 3 times 8 minus 25 by 3, which is 32 minus 25 is 7. So 7 by 3. So the coordinates of this point is 7 by 3, meaning the y coordinate is 7 by 3. The x coordinate we already know it's 8. 8, 7 by 3. Okay. Now we have to find this entire area, right? Couple of ways of doing this. I'm not able to shade this now with this color. Okay. Okay, we have to find this entire area. But the union of the areas, obviously there'll be some overlap, but we are concerned about the entire area. One way is we can take the triangle to the left of the reflection line. So if you take the triangle something which looks like this wala. This triangle, right? The triangle which looks like this. So you can just use half base into height and then double it. Okay. So what is that base? The base is from here to here. So this is what I'm calling the base. Right? So upper it's 7 by 3 above the x-axis, and niche it's 3 because it's going all the way till minus 3. So that length is 16 by 3. And the height is, this is the height, right? This is the height. If you look at it this way, it's an isosceles, it's a obtuse angle triangle. The height is, the altitude is falling outside. The height is, that gap is 2. So half of base into height. So which is 16 by 3. And then into 2, right? Into 2, because you have a triangle on the left and a triangle on the right with the same thing. Yeah, makes sense?
So are you calculating the total area of both of them?
Because that's what the question is, right? What is the area of the union of the two triangles? Okay,
Yeah,
makes sense.
okay.
Sorry, what is the question? That was the question, right? In the given problem. What is the area of the union of the two triangles means what? There'll be some overlap area. You should not count that.
You just subtracted the overlap, right?
I did not subtract. The entire big diagram itself, I found the area straight away.
Yeah, so what did you, sir?
32 by 3.
Oh.
Right? Another way to do it would be, let's take the big triangle, and subtract. So I'll just show it indication. So this big triangle minus the triangle that forms at the top here. That will also give the same answer. Does it make sense? Let's try that also. Okay. So the big triangle, right? So this is the base. What is the base? Which is 4. 2 and 2, which is 4. Half of 4 into, and what is the height? It goes all the way from 5 at the top till minus 3 at the bottom. So it is 8. Minus the small triangle, the base is still the same 4. And the height is, this becomes the height, right? So which is 5 minus 7 by 3. So this is at 5 height. This is at height of 7 by 3, the y coordinate, right? Therefore, it's 5 minus 7 by 3, which is 8 by 3. So if you subtract these two, then what do we get? This is 2, this is 2. So 2 into 8 minus 8 by 3, which is 2 into 16 by 3, which is the same 32 by 3. Make sense? Both methods? I mean, the last one is just finding the area. by visually adding up the relevant areas or subtracting. Yeah, makes sense? Avinash, you're okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That was
So
question.
I think while doing that thing, I got a little confused by the point. So I got 10 and not this.
Okay. But conceptually you understood, right? Okay. Okay, that was question 4. Question 5.
So would it be possible to do it if the point like 7 and 7,1 was not lying on that same line?
Yes. If the 7,1 is inside, then it's easy because anyway the overlap. Okay, good question. Okay, so if the 7,1 was inside, then anyway the overlap, the union will anyway include that point, right? Are you with me? Are you following along?
Yes.
Okay, so let me just erase this now that we have finished most of this question. So you're asking if 7,1 fell here somewhere and 9,1 fell here. Anyway, the area would still be the same, right? Are you with me? Because this will come something like this, will come something like this, right? I'm not drawing the perfect diagram, but this will go till here, I think, right? But anyway, the outer envelope will still be the same. On the other hand, if that fell outside, then you have to do some extra work. Then you have to find this area, right? It becomes a little, it's the diagram is very ugly, but you can still do it. Not a problem. Okay, so that'll actually another good formula illustration comes in the next question. I'm just seeing this now, seeing this. Where is that? Pasted that question. Okay, so this one, before we do this question, I just want to tell you a simple way of calculating area of any polygon. Okay, does not have to be a triangle or a quadrilateral, even if it could be a heptagon, anything, right? Let's say the coordinates are given to you. I'll make up some coordinates. Let's say the coordinates are 1, 3. Let's say it's a quadrilateral. It's fine. 2, -1, 5, 7, and -3, -4. These are the 4 coordinates of a quadrilateral PQRS. Suppose you have to find the area. Then how do we do it? We write it out all in this order, any order, either cyclical or anti-cyclical, but it has to be, it cannot be P, Q, and then you go to S, and then you go to R. It cannot be. You have to follow the cyclic or anti-cyclic order. So PQRS, and then I'll repeat the first point again. So 1, 3 repeats again. It doesn't matter where we start. Wherever you start, when you finish, you repeat the very first one, right? It'll still be the same answer. So I'll put P here again. Now, what do we do after laying out all these points? What am I trying to do? I'm trying to find the area of such a quadrilateral. Okay, we'll do a series of multiplications and additions. So we'll put like something like this. So 1 times -1 is -1. 2 times 7 is 14. 5 times -4 is -20. Okay, and then lastly, -3 times 3 is -9. Let's add up all of these. How much do we get? +13, -7, -9, which is -16. Okay, so block that. We'll come to what we'll do with this. Now go in the opposite direction, as in this multiplication, this multiplication, this multiplication, and this multiplication. So 3 times 2 is 6. -1 times 5 is -5. 7 times 3 is -3 is -21. -4 times is -4. So what is this sum? 6 minus 5 is 1, -20, -24. So we have 2 sum products. Sum product means sum of some products, some products. Right? Now we'll do the absolute difference between these 2. Meaning whichever is bigger minus whichever is smaller. Right? So -16 is the bigger, -24 is the smaller. The difference between them is 8. And then divide this by 2. That gives the area. Area is just 4 in this case. Okay, it can be applied for any polygon. You can use this. Now with that, can you try to do this problem? Question 5. let's discuss what is the area of the quadrilateral that we are getting, so that if someone does a silly mistake, we don't waste time after that. Whoever calculates the area of the quadrilateral using the method I just showed you, please call it out.
So 7.5, I think.
7.5, 15 by 2. Is anyone's answer matching that? Avinash, are you getting the same?
So I'm just
I'll quickly do it as well. Okay, so 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 0, and then back to 0, 0. There'll be a lot of zeros here, so it's easy. 0 plus 3 plus 0 plus 0, which is 3. On the other hand, I have 0 plus 6 plus 12 plus 0, which is 18. So the difference between them is
21 by 2,
15 by 2.
Sorry.
Yeah, 15 by 2 is what he said also, 7.5. Okay, so now the problem is fairly simple, right? So here it says, let's say, I'll just draw the coordinates. We only need positive numbers, right? So I can start with, so we have 0, 0 here somewhere. 1, 2 is somewhere here. Okay, let's say 1, 2. We have 3, 3 somewhere here. And then we have 4, 0, which is somewhere here. So we have, sorry. So we have this quadrilateral. I don't know why the sensitivity on this is sometimes poor. And then we have this, right? Now he's drawing a line which is cutting the last side, right? CD at some point. So, and that divides into two equal areas. So maybe a line something like this. Okay, such that the top area and the bottom area are the same. Now we just have to find out or the intersection point ka coordinates effectively. And after that, all this extra jazz that he does, right? So that people are not able to guess. He finds P plus Q plus R plus S, all the usual natak. Okay, so how do we find? So we know the area is 15 by 2 for the entire parallelogram. Oh, sorry, quadrilateral. Therefore, the area of the triangle, the bottom triangle should be 15 by 4, half of that, right? So 15 by 4 should match half into this base. This is 4, right? Half into 4 into height. So this is the height of this. Right. So let's say this is my height. Right. So what is my height? I can find my height easily, right? 15 by 8. H is 15 by 8. So I know the y coordinate already. This is 15 by 8 of this point. And now I have to find out the x coordinate. X coordinate, how do I find? I can find the equation of this pink line, the one that joins C and D. Okay, so this is C is 3, 3, D is 4, 0. Let's find the equation of the line. The slope is m2 minus y2 minus y1, 0 minus 3 upon x2 minus x1, which is minus 3, I'm sorry. Minus 3 by 1, which is minus 3. That's the slope. So the equation of this line becomes y equal to minus 3x plus c. And like in the previous problem, we can substitute, let's say we'll substitute d because it's 4, 0. So 0 equal to minus 12 plus c, which means c is 12. Which means this line, if you go up way out here, it's going to intersect at 0, 12. That's what it means, right? 0, 12 is where it's cutting the y-axis. Okay. Sorry, my scribbly handwriting here. So 0, 12 makes sense. At least it's going to be somewhere steep. Now we'll use this c and then we'll substitute x value as, y value as 15 by 8. You know, this is 15 by 8. So 15 by 8 equal to minus 3x plus 12. So from this, we can find out what x is. Let's get the 12 to this side. So 15 by 8 minus 12 is 96 by 8 equal to minus 3x. So this is how much? Minus 81 plus 81 goes 27 times. So x coordinate is 27 by 8. And let's see whether it roughly makes sense with our diagram. 15 by 8 is approximately 2. And sure enough, this height looks something like 2. It's not unreasonable.
So
I'm not
So what do you get the x coordinate as?
27 by 8.
27 by 8. Oh, yeah. I didn't simplify it. Maybe that's why I made the mistake.
Okay. And 27 by 8 approximately is 3 point change, 3.5
You have to get it in
approximately.
the simplest form. Or what? In the
Yeah,
lowest terms.
In
Yeah.
the lowest form. Yeah. So 27 by 8, this is 3.5 approximately. The diagram is also, for example, suppose I did some silly mistake and got 27 by 6. I should be suspecting because this is more than 4. My value of D itself is at 4. But 27 by 8 is reasonable. Right? It's 3 point something. Likewise, 15 by 8 ke jagah mein kuch 5 by 8 milata ho. 5 by 8 means is less than 1, but this height does not look less than 1, right? We have drawn a reasonably scaled diagram. So it should be roughly matching. So now we have, what is this? 27 by 8 and iska 15 by 8 jo bhi. Okay, and then it's just a question of adding all these numbers, right? 27, 15, how much is this? 42,
8.
58.
So I wrote it as 81 by 24 when I was solving.
And then you didn't
I didn't
simplify.
see that.
Okay. And
Yeah.
it will not match one of the choices. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Let's stop here for today. Please, guys, attempt the homeworks. Otherwise, the value addition in the class is minimal, right? If you just come without attempting. Okay. I'll see you next class. Bye.